Hi Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your July 2020 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also to subscribe to my channel. Now, before we dive into this reading, I'm just going to clear the energy and raise our energy vibration. So if we all take a nice deep breath in, and exhale. Releasing all negativity and centering ourselves. I love that. All right, now I have the moon all set up here. This is the Blessings moon. It's also the Stag moon, so it's the royalty moon. And we're going to dive into everything that this moon entails. It really is quite a beautiful moon. But before we get to that, let's look at the tarot and see what the tarot has to say. How will Cancer be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the July 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this message and show me clearly. Ooh, okay. Yeah, just like that. Angels and spirit guides, guide this message and show me clearly. How will Cancer be affected by the July 2020 full moon? I love it when they fly out or when they stick to your hand. I also love it when there's this overwhelming sense of peace that comes over you when you're shuffling the cards. So every which way that spirit speaks, it's beautiful. Oh, goodness. Okay. Angels and spirit guides, guide this message. Show us clearly. Show us clearly. All right. Okay. So let's see what the moon has to say. Well, the tarot has to say for the moon, and then later we will have the moon put on top of with the Queen of the Moon and the Moonology cards to let Luna really have a voice of her own. So we're starting off with the Knight of Swords. This is an air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Okay, the new moon, not the new moon, the full moon in August is in Aquarius, so you have a strong pull to that. Then you come through as the Page of Cups. You're represented by the Cups in the Minor Arcana, by the Chariot in the Major Arcana. Justice coming in. This is a Libra energy, a time frame September 23rd to October 22nd. And the Four of Wands, which is absolutely beautiful. 10 of Pentacles, prosperity, wealth. Now this is the left side right here. This is your inner self, okay? This is your heart, how your heart is affected by things. And this is your public self. And then we have the Page of Wands, fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. The new moon is in Leo, and that's on the 20th of July. 8 of Pentacles. And the High Priestess, absolutely beautiful. Page of Swords, very interesting, okay? Again, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, very strong pull to the full moon in August. The Wheel of Destiny, this is the Wheel of Fortune. The Knight of Cups, you go from being a page to being a knight, which is beautiful. And you have the Lover's energy here, which is a Gemini energy, a time frame of May 21st to June 20th. So there's a lot of power here that's coming forward. There's also a strong sense of being a student of your passion, of what you desire, a student of your heart and what your heart needs, and where your soul wants to be, a student of your mind, a student of your integrity, of self. You really are looking at things and you're taking in a whole new way of being, a whole new way of understanding. But as a knight here internally with the Knight of Swords, with the mind, with the understanding, with the, cutting through doubts and fears. There's going to be a strong sense internally to act very quickly on things. You're going to want to step back a bit with your public self, you yourself, as a water sign energy. So as somebody who's represented by the cups in the minor arcana, again by the chariot in the major arcana, you're coming through as the Knight of Cups. So the Knight of Cups, people are seeing you as a go-getter. People are seeing you as somebody who goes after what they want, who, looks at their heart, and really, you're really letting your emotional truth be your guide at this time. You're not going to be one of those people who lets their emotions run crazy, but really seriously, you are connected to your heart. You're rooted with the High Priestess at your heart. It's like this sacred ancient knowledge is coming forward. And what's really cool about this moon is that it is the second lunar eclipse in a row. So it brings forward this sense of perseverance, the sense of accountability. You have a lot of justice in you, and we can see that in your personal self, but also the sense of commitment. And what you are really aligning yourself with this Capricorn full moon, is the commitment that you have to your elders. And this is elder knowledge. This is sacred knowledge. And this is where your blessings come from. This knowledge runs through your very bones. It is a part of yourself. And so here, with the Capricorn knowledge coming forward with the Capricorn full moon, this is an end of a tough cycle approaching. This is an end of a cycle where you're just like, I feel worn out, I feel overwhelmed. And the more worn out you feel, the more overwhelmed you feel, the more you're going to want to hold on to things super tight. The more you're going to want to say, I know the truth, I know, and am dedicated and am, there we go, dedicated to what is right. And if I just work super, super hard, I'll be able to get there. But if you work super hard and you make simple, Spirit is saying, if you make simple monetary goals your only goal during this time, you're going to miss out on something beautiful. And I know you're sitting there and saying, well, monetary goals, really important, Spirit. And I completely agree. But this is being too businesslike. This is, sitting there and finding yourself saying, well, it's business, or, well, sometimes life isn't fair, and things like that. And Cancer, that goes against your very nature. It goes against your very self. And so when you come up against situations like that, you really have to listen to your heart and listen to your emotional truth. And yes, it can be overwhelming at times and it can be upsetting, but it is going to be beautiful, because you're going to find that your heart means more than what is supposed to be, than what the world says, oh, this is where the real value is. And so it can make you feel like an outsider looking in, but it does empower you, and it has you surrendering to the divine, surrendering to divine power, divine understanding, and it has you empowered, your very self empowered. And as you move in this truth and in these goals, it connects you with the full moon eclipse, which is conclusions are within reach. Now, there is a sense of seeing things more clearly. And this is the, connection that Capricorn has to the crone, to the wise woman, to the mentor, to the wise man, to sacred knowledge, to sacred truth. And that's going to be very powerful for you. And as you're moving forward, this is a time for really looking at the sequence of things. This isn't a time for shortcuts. And so as you see conclusions are within reach, you're seeing that change guides you forward, that your heart leads you to power, and that passion is your underlining force during this time. Here in the Queen of the Moon cards, they call this moon the Thunder Moon. And it's because it shakes you. It's a wake up. It's like, wow. And that's where the blessings come in. Because the blessings come as you go back to your roots, to your true self. So in this world, we lose ourselves along the way. And that's just part of the course. We sit there and we think, oh, I'll just change a little bit for this person, or we don't even know that we're doing it. And now you're going back to your rooted self. Your ancestors are talking to you. Stories become part of your blood, become part of your bones. Your past life self is communicating. So you might find yourself very drawn to a certain area, very drawn to a certain time. And you're like, why is this? Why do I have this inclination? Why am I being drawn to this? I never was before. And it is going to be powerful. It's going to be beautiful. Right now, I'm finding myself very drawn to Russia for some reason, and Russian folklores and things like that. So it might come up that way, and you're sitting there and you're like, why? I never was before, but it's beautiful. And it connects with you. in some way. It connects with some deep level of your soul. And it's your past life self, if you don't have any ancestral connection. And so here, you're going to see things like that. And I see it in the realm of folklores. I see it in the realm of, mythologies. I see it in the realm of art and music and things like that. Things that really speak, especially to the heart and the creative self. Because Cancer, that's where you thrive. That is really where you thrive. And the new moon on July 20th, okay? Now, what's really cool is that before the new moon comes into play, we have Mercury going direct on July 12th. So on the 12th of July, you are having Mercury leave retrograde. And this Mercury retrograde has been such an intense time. And the Mercury retrograde has, usually it's like, okay, everything gets all mumbled and jumbled, but we're actually finding that things are being said that need to be said, that power is coming forward, that we're seeing truths in things, and we're seeing truths within ourselves. And what had once been upside down is being turned right side up. And it's like, yes, this is exactly where I need to be. And as this comes in, okay, on the 20th, then you have the new moon in Leo. And this says confidence is your key to success. And it's standing tall within yourself. Because you've seen that, yes, you went through the topsy-turvy time of Mercury retrograde. You've seen the pains, the overwhelms, the, doubts, the fears that come. And you're standing confidently within yourself. Because in your heart, you see yourself as a constant learner, a constant observer, a constant, taker inner of knowledge. It's like anointing with knowledge and heart's truth. And what I mean about the heart's truth, and I know some of you have asked, it's like, Dane, when you say the heart's truth, what does that mean? It means your emotional truth. It means when you're being authentically you. It means when you're not betraying yourself. It means when you wake up and you don't think, oh my God, another day. Seriously, drudgery, doubt, despair. And so here, as you're moving forward, you are finding that passion, you're finding that power. And the heart's truth is living authentically. And living authentically can be astoundingly scary because sometimes our authentic self is not the self that everybody in the world will accept. And being vulnerable, being, not accepted is very hard for human beings because we are, kind of group animals. And that's just what we are. We like to be part of groups. It makes us feel good. And so here, confidence is your key to success. The confidence in being yourself. The confidence of having your authenticity show. The confidence of saying, this is who I am. And you're really going to feel powerfully pulled towards this around the 20th of July. And then on the 20th of July, the void of course is at 1:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The void of course is when things do not go as you intended. So it says nothing will come of this. So at 1:55 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, don't do anything really big. Okay, I would block out that whole hour or, from like 1:30 to 2:30 if you can just kind of, not do anything like super intense and also, just be mindful because fights can start, things get misconstrued. And so that could be a very private time for you, that would be really best because things don't go the way we anticipate during the void of course. So that's just a warning right there. But as you are embracing your confidence, as you're seeing that, the saying, if you don't believe in you, who will? That's really quite true because you see people who have all this confidence in the world and you're wondering where the heck they get it from because they're not really the most talented of people. But there's a confidence, there's a passion, there's a beauty to them and it pulls us in. And that's what Spirit is saying here. Be pulled in by your confidence, your beauty. People will be. And it's a new start coming. It's a new dawn. It's a new day. It's a new way of seeing things. And it leads you to a beginning. It leads you to a walking through, the portal into success. It leads you to beginnings. It leads you also to endings. And there are some endings that are really quite beautiful, really quite powerful. And then it moves you to the full moon in Aquarius, which is on the 3rd of August. And it says, show the world the real you. This is the surgeon moon. This is the corn moon. And here, it's patience. So as you show the world the real you, be patient. Be patient with the way they perceive it. Be patient with being brave enough to say, this is who I am, authentically, beautifully, truthfully. And maybe not all at once. And also know your audience, right? But embrace your authenticity. Live in your truth. That's a very powerful thing for you, starting on the 20th of July and really amplifying around the 3rd of August. Now, your spirit animals for this time are, of course, represented in none of the cards that I have. So we have stand-ins, which have the same message and really just a powerful feel for this time. So in July and in August, one of the spirit animals is the salmon spirit. And I did not know how terribly beautiful the salmon spirit was until recently. And the salmon spirit represents rebirth, it represents moving forward, it represents happiness, eternal life, the feminine aspect of the world. It's living to your fullest, which is really what the world is calling you to do. And as you're living to the fullest, it's having your world filled with people and things that you love. It's kind of like, if I don't love it, if it doesn't have truth to me, why would it clutter my existence? And so the Nightingale spirit says it really quite beautifully. Love is all around you, and love is empowering you and moving you forward. Now, in July, there is the woodpecker spirit, which has the same energy as the bear spirit, which is super cool and something I would not have thought of. So the bear spirit protects those who are smaller. All right? That's a main aspect of the bear spirit. The woodpecker spirit also seeks to rekindle passion and find the truth, and it's the seeds that you've planted over the heart. So where the bear spirit says, take time out, it's like, take time out. Take time out to help those less fortunate. Take time out to listen to the truth that you've planted and rekindle that passion. And as you do so, then we move to August, and you have the cougar spirit, whose stand-in here is the panther. And the cougar spirit is leadership and taking charge of your life. It's like, this is my world, this is my existence, I own it. And this is you reclaiming your power, reclaiming your passion, reclaiming what you desire. So you have absolutely beautiful spirit animals watching out for you, guiding you and transforming you during this time, like really having your back. And you start off here with the Knight of Swords. Ideas fill your mind, okay? Also, the goal-oriented full moon in Capricorn is coming through, and this is where, you're paying attention to what needs to be done. And you're cutting through the doubts and the fears, and you're moving forward, and you're like, yes, this is the mind, this is success. And what you're really looking at here are the things that hold us back. And I really see that as being a powerful part for you. So where the Knight of Swords is usually like, okay, I'm going to move forward, I'm going to go after things, you're going to be looking at your weak points. And you're like, no more. No more. I'm going after it. I'm finding my balance, I'm finding my truth, and I will not have these hurts, these pains, these disappointments hold me back anymore. And the Knight of Swords can go at things rather intensely. You have to be kinder to yourself, Cancer, because you're going to look at things that hold you back, doubts, fears, apprehensions, okay? Because this moon is about getting organized, it's about practicality and methodicalness and duties that need to be done and living for, the bigger picture. And you're going to look at yourself and say, this is what's holding me back. These fears that I have. These thoughts that I have, this and that. And especially at night, you're going to get really serious with yourself. Be kinder. Be kinder. Because what you're seeing here is valuable truth. But as you see this valuable truth, you also see the power of yourself and your soul. You see the power that needs to be embraced within you. And as you see this, and as you sit there and say, okay, these thoughts aren't bad, or this doesn't need to be, these hurts, these pains that I'm holding on to, like, yes, they cannot control my life, but they cannot stop me. They're also forming me. I need to remember the pains that I went through, not every moment of every day, but to have that humanity, to have that connection, that's powerful. And as you move forward then, as this defender of truth and justice, power and understanding, and of the heart, that is absolutely exquisite. And then it moves you to being anointed with childlike innocence. It really does. The Page of Cups is you and your innocence and your joy and your understanding. And it's almost then like you have this protector before you. Now, it can be an air sign energy, a Gemini, a Libra, and Aquarius. Okay? Again, strong link to the August moon. But it's also your truth being your guide. being that defender of that child that might not have been able to defend themselves, might have gotten bullied, might have gotten made fun of, might have felt like an outsider looking in. You have the waters anointing you. You have the sense of the cleansing of the soul and the embracing of the spirit. And you're really moving forward towards your truth and towards your desire. You're looking at you and you're saying, but this is who I am. There can also be a very strong pull to look at the inner child within you, okay? And to let that child out, like to let that child laugh and have fun, because this moon is so serious that you're going to want to just, have giggles, and have laughter and have joyous moments and make funny faces in the mirror and just do something ridiculous, but that makes you happy. And it's going to lighten your aura. It is. It's going to lighten your soul. And that's really beautiful. And it's something that you will see. I can feel it. I can feel it. I can feel this like sense of the negativity kind of, when it's really hot outside and you can see the steam moving, like coming off of, the pavement or the ground. That's what it's going to be like. You can feel it. And that's going to be powerful. And that's going to be really cool too. And then you have Justice, Libra energy. Okay, so strong Libra presence within this line, because they're also represented by the swords in the minor arcana. This is a time frame September 23rd to October 22nd. Balance, truth, justice, insight. You're looking at things. And what Spirit is saying here is that you're going to see your angels balancing the scales. And justice is coming not from some external force, but very much from an internal understanding. It's like, are you being just with yourself? Because you're taking on a lot of responsibility when it comes to emotions and when it comes to other people's emotions. And it's kind of like, listen, you do you, boo. Like, I cannot take on the responsibilities anymore. And that's what you're going to be saying to yourself, Cancer. It's so funny. I used to have a coworker who said that all the time, you do you, boo. So that's really funny. Those words just came out. There's a sense of, you have to live in your truth. You have to live in the power that is your understanding. And that's your justice. It isn't that everything has to fall into alignment and people have to do certain things and they all have to be just, because everybody has a very different idea of what is just, So we have the guidelines, yes. But when people look at things, they have a very interesting idea of what was just to a situation or, stuff like that. And here you're looking at your justice, your truth, your power, and you're saying, what is right for me? Because somebody else would sit there and be like, oh, well, you should just let them do what they want to do, or, something like that. And it's like, no, what is right for you? Because there's somebody, and it can be this Libra energy that you're having a bit of a difficulty with, where you're like, I want to be just and fair, but your just and fair is not my just and fair. And so it's kind of eating you up inside. Or somebody's making you feel like you're not doing the right thing, Cancer, and you hate that. I mean, you are all about moving forward and defending what you love, like with every ounce of your being. So if you feel like you're not there for the person, that eats you up inside. So here, you have to be just with you. You have to listen to your heart, to your soul. And sometimes, yes, it might be like putting your foot down with things, but you're actually going to see it opens up a new door. It frees you from something that has been holding you back. And it leads you to the Four of Wands. And what's the coolest thing about the Four of Wands is I've been, I love to go deeper into the tarot and read deeper into the tarot. And the Four of Wands is a card of such joy and such power, such beauty, that some say when it is reversed or when it is right side up, you cannot hide the blessings that this card brings. The joy, the celebration, the happiness, the beauty. And so for that to be at your root as justice comes in, as you're anointed with love, as you defend your mind and your soul and yourself, that beauty to be celebrated, to be embraced is spectacular. It's, it's sitting there and saying, I can celebrate me. I can. And I will not feel bad and I will not feel overwhelmed. I let myself shine. And as you do so, you have the Ten of Pentacles, prosperity and success. Wealth that lasts for generations. Now, it might not be, the inheritance of like a huge fortune wealth. But to know that you're loved, to have, bounty being a part of you, to sit there and, I'm just seeing it as security. It's security of soul. That is wealth that lasts for generations. It's like you did it right, Cancer. And the prosperity comes forward, and the messages are answered, and the beauty comes in, and the deeper insights guide you. And it's like, wow, I see it. 10 is a completion of a cycle. You're completing a cycle when it comes to finances. You're completing a cycle when it comes to the seeds that you are planting. And you're doing so with the practicality of the Capricorn energy coming forward, which is like, oh no, I see, and I know. And so here, it's like, yes, I am moving towards something that is profound. And I love it that you have 2 pages, coming together. And it's like this childlike innocence, this way of looking at things with the beginner's eyes in Buddhism, where you're not coming with preconceived notions. It changes you. And it changes the way that you look at the world. And here you're connecting with your passion, with your intuition, with what you desire, with where you need to be. And it's like, okay, I see it. I see what I want. I see where I'm moving towards. I see what's truly important to me. This is what you desire in your life. This is the passion of your soul. Now, this could be your job. This could be, the thing you do on the side. This is why you're on this earth. And it's really funny because we sit there and we think our reason for being is supposed to be something exquisite. It's supposed to be something absolutely huge, like a movie star or a rock star or something where people throw themselves at our feet. But what's really funny is that a lot of times it's just not. It's being a good listener. It's, making people feel better. It's making fantastic chocolate chip cookies. It's making a great cup of hot cocoa. It's having the best and most, infectious laugh. We look at our skills. We look at the things that make our hearts shine. And we say, it's not worth anything. It's being the best parent that you could be, or aunt or uncle or grandparent or whomever. It's being an inspiration to people. But we sit there and we give that no value. It doesn't bring in a paycheck. It doesn't matter. There's a passion to you. There's a beauty to you. Let it shine forward. Because as you do so, you see all your hard work paying off. Strongly connected with the fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay? But you're also going to learn something very new and very powerful around the Leo full moon. So just mark this on your calendar, highlight it. And know that something intense is coming, even if it's just a little bit intense. But it moves you forward. And you're seeing your hard work. There's something about pathways and gateways and, beginnings and endings. The god Junus, the god of July, the god of gateways, beginnings, and endings comes forward. Not the god of July, the god of January, there we go, comes forward. And it's very powerful for you. It's very powerful. And even though, it's July and not January, it's still very powerful, that presence in your life. And it moves you to the high priestess. It moves you to seeing things so much more clearly. Also being very introspective. This is a time where you are astoundingly powerful. I mean, you're represented by the knights and the pages. You're learning, you're fighting, you're going after, most definitely. But you are also going to see here that you need those quiet moments. You need to turn inward because you're looking at, it's kind of like you're coming to an understanding with euphoria. And euphoria, is amazing. We think of euphoria and we think, wow, that's going to be so cool. A month of euphoric moments would be astounding. But the euphoric moments aren't going to be as, crazy high as you would want them to be. Not going to be like dancing in the street kind of high. They're going to be moments where you feel like you found yourself a little bit more. They're going to be moments where you might feel like you're spinning out of control and then you stop and you're like, oh, that's what I was moving towards? Seriously? There's a veil that's lifted. There's a truth that's seen. And it's powerful for you. And it moves you to the Page of Swords. So you have 3 pages now. And with these 3 pages, divinity is telling you, you are a student. You are a student of your heart, you are a student of your mind, and you are a student of your passion. Learn. Take it in. Okay? The Page of Swords is cutting through doubts and fears, helping you see things more clearly, helping you see yourself more clearly, asking questions. It's interesting because you have publicly the Page of Swords, privately the Knight of Swords, and at your heart, the Ten of Pentacles. So it's kind of like you are coming to terms with a wealth that is rightfully yours, inherently yours, all right? And this can be from the connection that you have with your elders, from the connection that you have with your ancestral self, with your past life self. It's like this bounty was meant to be yours. You know, this is your rightful inheritance. And you're learning it publicly. You're learning how to walk forward in it. And privately, you're learning how to defend it. And as you do so here, you have the Wheel of Fortune. Everything changes. Everything changes as you learn, as you understand. The Wheel of Fortune is a changing of seasons. The Wheel of Fortune is an understanding of self. The Wheel of Fortune is saying everything changes. Everything has their season. Everything has their reason. And you're seeing it. You're understanding it. And you're embracing it. You have the repeat of the number 10 here. And that is saying that you've completed a cycle. You completed a cycle because you are learning anew, because you are taking things in, because there isn't that preconceived judgment. And then you are a defender of all you have worked for the justice that is coming in, for the truth that is yours. And you slowly and steadily defend the very essence of you. It's not saying, okay, I have a fight on my hands. It's saying, this is who I am. And the world will throw things my way, most definitely. Doubts and fears, hardships and pains. It will make me doubt my heart and myself. It will make me re-look at so many things. But it will not stop me. And it will not break me. And I will be so much more than I thought I could be. Because I fight for my truth. And I stand in my truth. And as you do so, you have the Lovers. The Lovers is a Gemini energy. So there's definitely a duality to you. This is a time frame of May 21st to June 20th. You might have seen that duality come up already. But there's a sense of love, of passion, of desire, of reasoning, of freeing, of being led away from one idea into a greater truth, a greater knowledge, a greater understanding. You're seeing things more honestly, more purely. And you're coming to terms where, everything doesn't always match up the way that you want it to. Because with the Lovers, they're represented, the Gemini is represented by the twins, right? So one twin is not exactly like the other. There's always differences. And you're understanding and embracing that difference. Strong Gemini presence within this reading, strong Libra presence, okay, as you are moving forward. Now let's go deeper. Angels and spirit guides, show us clearly the ending message for Cancer for the July 2020 full moon. Show us clearly, show us clearly. Show us clearly. Guide us and show us clearly. All right. So we have the Four of Swords, the Six of Swords, and the Nine of Swords. So the mind is astoundingly powerful during this time, as we saw before that it would be, most definitely. You've been through a battle, okay? Four of Swords is resting after that battle, needing to rest. You're not going to want to. You have a lot to do, and only you can do it. You're putting a lot on your shoulders. Do not forget to rest. Sleep. Oh my gosh. Sleep is going to be so important to you. If you let the public world come in, I mean, especially now, right? With everything that is going on, with all the craziness in the world, if you let it come in, it can tear you apart. It can break your heart. Doubts and fears that keep you up at night. There's a need to stop. There's a need to rest and understand. And come to some really, there are some shifting, I want to say life-changing, but for some of you there are, for a lot of you there are, Cancer, life-changing realizations that as the veil is lifted, as, you move forward, and you're going to see this, like, it's like you have these fours on top of each other. You have to take care of yourself because there's this part of you that is absolutely jubilant, that, wants to shout it from the rafters, and there's this part of you that is tired from the battles that you have fought and the wars that you have been through, and life is a battlefield, and then publicly, as you're embracing your love and your duality, you're doubting, you're fearing. It's like, am I doing the right thing? Yeah, you are. Because as the high priestess guides you forward, you take all your knowledge and all your understanding and you move towards something greater. More truthfully you. Is it sad to leave things behind? Yes, it is. But it's moving into a new world, a new existence, and a powerful understanding. So let's see what the moon has to say now, what she has to say for herself. How will Cancer be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the July 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this message and show me clearly. Oh, goodness. So this one here, this pile's too big. There we go. How will Cancer be affected by the July 2020 full moon? How will Cancer be affected by the July 2020 full moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Oh, goodness. And this one, because it just wants to be heard too. And you know what? It deserves to be. Ooh, okay. Fear. Makes sense. Path. Blossoming. Sovereignty. I mean, it's the stag moon. Stags represent sovereignty, majesty, royalty. Your commitment is being tested. Have faith in your dreams. Time to give rather than take. Work through your fears. Step out of your comfort zone. It's time to take action. That's beautiful. That is really beautiful. So here, when it comes to fear, you're going to feel like you have to hold on. It's just going to be like, oh my gosh, like I cannot. Because you're going to see a part of you wants to fly free. It just does. But the part inside is like, I can't do this. That's your inner self, and it's over your inner self. It's like, I can't do this. It's being terrified. It's being like quaking in your boots kind of fear. It's like, I can't. And when you start saying that to yourself, you have to stop. Because the mind will take over. And when you start thinking, I can't, you're going to start thinking of all the different reasons why you'll fail, why you'll make a fool, why you'll make a fool out of yourself, why. And the thing with our mind is that our mind does not know the difference between truth and what we think of. It just doesn't. What we've lived and what we think of. And so here, that's going to be very powerful with your mind. To not let the fear take over. To step back. And actually, during this time, a really beautiful kind of ritual you could have is to light a candle, right? And let it burn away. Like, think of the blockages, think of the fears, think of the doubts, And just light that candle and let it burn. Let it burn away that fear. Let it burn away that doubt. Let it burn in a nice, safe place with a glass of water by it, all right? So that you can release what needs to be released so you can fly free. So the light needs to shine from within. Because you're moving towards your path of greatness, towards your path of truth, towards your path of you. And you're blossoming. You're blossoming into your true self, into your beautiful power. You are the ruler of your existence, but you cannot let anybody else rule over you because your commitment is being tested. It's like, is it your truth or is it somebody else's truth? Have faith in your dreams. They're not silly. They're beautiful. You're beautiful. Let it shine. Time to give rather than take. It's just time to release that loving, beautiful energy. To let it shine through. And let it touch as many lives as it can. However it can. It's time to give to the world. And let that radiance shine forward. And I know you already do this. The moon is just reminding. Work through fears. That's why you're giving rather than taking. You're giving away your fears rather than taking more in. It's time to work through them. They don't have the power over you. They once did. Or you thought they did. Step out of your comfort zone. Is it easy? No. Nobody likes stepping out of their comfort zone. Okay, well, at least me, in my extremely introverted way, hates stepping out of her comfort zone. Okay? It's scary, it's overwhelming, and I don't like it. Do it anyway. Do it anyway. The world will open to you in a way you just didn't imagine. And it'll set you free. Because it's time to take action. And it's time to be powerful, which you already are. So it's just embracing that power and that understanding. Now your subconscious tarot messages are the Three of Cups. Celebration, yes. But also knowing that everybody who celebrates us, not everybody cares. You know, they're not really doing it for the right reasons. And we've had those people in our lives, those people that we thought, oh my God, that person, we're so good. We're so good. We're so good for each other. We know we are best friends. We are lovers. We're this, we're that. That person will never betray me. And then they betray you. And you sit there and you're gobstopped. You're like, what the heck? The Three of Cups reminds us, and that all people who celebrate us are there for us. And it reminds us to really embrace those who truly love us. Your next subconscious message is the Chariot, the very essence of you. This is you, Cancer. This is you in the major arcana. You're moving forward. You're going after what you desire. You're going after what you want. Your love is moving you towards great heights. You will not be stopped. Nobody can stop you once your heart is on a path. And that is one of the most powerful things about you, Cancer. And that might be something that you think is a flaw. No. It's one of your greatest personality traits. You're being led forward by your heart, your soul, your essence, yourself. Fear will not hold you back. Truth is your cornerstone. Your subconscious moon message is boundaries, clear boundaries, distinct boundaries, sitting there and saying, you know what, people have to do this, and I have to do this. And you have those boundaries come in, and then it's time for healing. It's a healing time. It's a time of blessings and truth, of power and of understanding. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe, and have a blessed moon.